Get started, you'll need the Google Arts and Culture app, and that's kind of the process we're going to go through. So this is what the icon looks like. Whenever you open the application, it takes a little bit to load. But once it does, you need to scroll down a little further, and you should see the selfie section. You do have to accept because it uses your picture in a database, and then snap a picture, and it kind of gives you some matches. And this is one that I was looking for earlier, this Rembrandt Peel painting. So then once you get the Google Arts and Culture app started, you need to do a face meld thing. So what I did was I photoshopped the image of my face in the same pose onto the painting that it matched me with in the app. And then what I need to do is make a transfer of that image onto my panel. So we're going to print it out full size on a piece of paper. Then you got to cover the whole back of it with graphite. I kind of sped it up here so you can sort of see a little bit better. And then whenever I tape it to the panel, I usually tape it on either side. Because you can kind of check your work if you just remove one side and lift it up, and you can look, and if you need to, you can retape it. But anyway, try to get as many of the details on the from the painting onto your panel. So I'm kind of drawing some gestural lines. I'm doing the face last here. I'm also doing some values. It's like around the eye sockets. I'll kind of shade in and then double check it. So I'm just going to take off one side here and make sure that my transfer looks pretty good. It looks okay. It looks okay. You can see I kind of missed some stuff, but I've got the basics, and mostly the thing that's important is that you have the face. So this is just starting the painting. I'm using a lot of medium here. I'm just kind of getting general colors. I'm going to paint over all this, so I'm not worried about whether or not the color's correct. I'm worried more about the value, whether it's dark enough or light enough. And you can start to put in some local colors. You see I'm doing some blue here. That's totally fine, but I'm also using really thin paint to put that on there, to do some details on the face. I'll start with the darks, and then we mix up some skin tones, and I can show you guys how to do that in class, but you'll notice I've got 3 or 4 values of the flesh tone here, a light and some mids and some darks, and then I do a once over, and I'm trying to cover everything on the painting at least once, just with a local color, appropriate value, and then I can go back into it with more detail. It's just refining some of those colors. I'm adding like a yellowy flesh tone. And notice I'm leaving some of those earlier flesh tones there to kind of get like complex colors on the face. I'm also using some medium, mixing that to make it really thin and translucent. You can also use shiny medium to sort of make it shiny like your skin is sometimes. But so I'm kind of piecing these things together like patchwork and trying to get complex values there on the face. One recommendation I can make is if your painting has a face on it, the larger the face is, the easier it'll be to get a likeness. The reason is because you've got bigger marks, and if you mess up a little bit on a little mark, then it makes a big difference. But if you mess up a little bit on a big mark, it doesn't make such a big difference. So another thing, just with any painting, you want to kind of paint the foreground, paint the background. You want to paint them multiple times, trying to go back and forth. I'm just kind of working my way around. But the focal point is always going to be the face. If there's a face in the painting, that's just going to be the thing people look at the most. So this is probably 2 or 3 30-minute sessions here where I'm working on this thing, and you can see how some of the translucency is coming on the face. It's not quite done, but I'm just sort of adding some more details and starting to get a likeness. Doesn't look a lot like me, but it sort of looks like me. And that's one of the more